int count is 0. 0 plus 1, 1. Now count value is 1. 3 assigned as 1. Return count, and again it calls the same function with the value 2. Now I value is 2. Count value is 1. 1 plus 2, 3. Return 3. And then go for next iteration 3. With the value 3, the function is called. Now 3 plus 3, 6. It returns the value to the main program. And now I value is 4. I less than or equal to 4 condition is true. Then it calls this function with the value 4. And now count value is 6. 6 plus 4, 10. Return count, the 10 is assigned to the variable j. What is the value finally stored in the variable j is 10. So option A is the right answer for this question. Is a function. First you must remember the difference between static and const. If it is const, whenever you are calling this function, every time it assigns 0. Otherwise, it is a normal variable, int count equal to 0, then every time it is initialized as 0. If it is static, what is the value, final value? What is the recent value stored on the variable count is assigned for this variable. There is a difference between static and const variable. So that is the question, first question. The answer for this question is A, option A, 10 is the value. Option A is the right answer for this question. Next, move on to the second question. What is the second question? Consider the following C declaration. Struct sort S of 5, union, float Y, long Z. U is the variable that is assigned for this union. T is the variable that is assigned for the structure. Here we are using two concepts. One is structure, another one is union. The variable U is assigned for the variable structure union. The variable T is assigned for the variable structure struct. These are the two variables we are assigned. Now the question is, assume that objects of the type short, float and long occupy 2 bytes. 2 bytes is for short, 4 bytes is for float, 8 bytes is for long. So you remember that. Assume that objects of the type short, float and long occupy 2 bytes, 4 bytes and 8 bytes respectively. 2 bytes is assigned for short, 4 bytes is assigned for float, 8 bytes is assigned for long. These are the data bytes allocated for this type of objects, short, float and long. The memory requirement for variable T, ignoring alignment considerations, is, what is the options here is 22 bytes, 14 bytes, 18 bytes, 10 bytes. What is the option? These are all the options. What is the final answer for this question? Either it can be 22 bytes, 14 bytes, 18 bytes or 10 bytes. Here we are using structure as well as union. We already discussed about how many memory spaces are allocated for the structure and how many memory spaces are allocated for the union. There is a major difference in between structure and union. We already discussed. Short S contains 5 locations and float Y, long Z. And also the memory bytes which is occupied by the short, float, long are 2 bytes, 4 bytes and 8 bytes respectively. So what is the final byte that can be allocated for this given statements? Using this statement, how many memory bytes will be allocated for the variables? There is a question. Here I already given the bytes that are occupied, short, float and long, 2 bytes, 4 bytes, 8 bytes. These are all the bytes already given in this question. So 2 bytes for short, 4 bytes for float and 8 bytes for long. In the case of union, what is the maximum memory size among these memories? Long. Long contains 8 bytes. So 8 bytes are reserved for the union because union shares the memory. Which one is the maximum memory? That shares by the union. So 8 bytes is shared by the union. The variable U sharing the 8 bytes. 8 bytes is the capacity for the variable U. Now move on to the short. How many bytes are allocated for short is 2 bytes. 2 bytes is allocated for short and we have assigned array 5. 5 into 2, 10. 10 plus 8, 18 bytes. Totally 18 bytes are allocated for the variable T. This is final variable. It contains the structure and the union. The T contains how many memory bytes? 18 bytes. So C is the right answer for this question. Please remember, I already told you the major difference between structure and union is union shares the maximum memory size of the members. Which one is has the maximum memory? The long is the maximum memory size that contains 8 bytes. So it shares the 8 bytes along these members. Then move on to the structure. Structure sort assigned 2 bytes. We have reserved 5 memory locations for the sort variable S. So 5 into 2, 10 memory bytes are there. So 10 plus 8, 18 bytes are reserved for this structure T. The T and U are the variables. U contains 8 bytes, T contains 18 bytes. So finally, 18 bytes is the answer for this question. So option C is the right answer for this question. Next, to move on to third question. Consider the following C declaration. Struct node int I float j. These are all the 2 members of the structure node, and I have assigned a variable S of 10. S of 10. Define S to be an array, each element of which is a pointer to a structure of the node. The first option is an array, each element of which is a pointer to a structure of type node. And then a structure of 2 fields, each field being a pointer to an array of 10 elements. It contains 10 elements based on the declaration. A structure of 3 fields and an array of 10 elements. This is the third option. And the fourth option is an array, each element of which is a structure of type node. So which one is the right option from these 4 options? Which one is the right option? Either A, B, C, or D. Understand the question? Struct node, it is a structure. It contains 2 members. And also we are assigning a structure variable. Yes, it is a pointer variable. So define S to be. Which one is the right option among these 4 options? An array, each element of which is a pointer to a structure of the type node. A structure of 2 fields, each field being a pointer to an array of 10 elements. A structure of 3 fields, an integer, a float, and an array of 10 elements. An array, each element of which is a structure of type node. Among these 4 options, which one is the right answer? It can be A, B, C, or D. Which is the right answer for this question? So here, it is a structure variable. It's a pointer variable. This is a pointer variable, and an array, each element of which is a pointer to a structure of the type node. It is a pointer variable. Each element of which is a pointer to a structure. It is a pointer to a structure. S is a pointer. It is assigned for the structure. Pointer to a structure of the type node. It's an A. That is option A. Second one is a structure of 2 fields. These 2 fields, each field being a pointer to an array of 10 elements. Each 2 fields are pointer to an array. It is option 2. A structure of 3 fields, integer, float, and an array. 3 fields of 10 elements. Option 3. These 2 are variables, and these 3 are variables, and an array of 10 elements. That is the third option. And fourth option is an array, each element of which is a structure of type node. An array, each element of which is a structure. Structure node contains I and J. It is an array. An array, each element of which is a structure of type node. It's a type node. Node is this type. An array, it is an array. Each element of structure node. Each element of structure node. These are all included in this structure. Which is the right option among these 4 options? So first option is the right option. An array, each element of which is a pointer. It is a pointer to a structure of type node. It is a pointer to a structure. S is the variable. It is a pointer. It is assigned for the structure. Pointer to a structure of type node. This is a type node. Node is the structure name. It is a pointer to a structure of type node. It is the right option. A is the right answer for this question. The option A is the right answer. Next question, move on to the next question, fourth question.
Consider the following C program segment. Character P of 20, character star S equal to string, int length equal to string length of S, integer I, it is a variable that is used for loop. For I equal to 0, I is less than length I plus plus, P of I equal to S of length minus I, and then print of percentage S P. What is the output of this program? Z N I R T S or G N I R T or string or no output is printed. What is the output of this program? Either GNIRTS, GNIRT, string, no output is printed. These are the 4 options based on this program. Which one is the right option? Either A, B, C or D. What is the output of this program? So here it is a pointer variable. It is a variable. We didn't specify array size. It contains more number of characters. So you have put star mark here. Star is equal to string. It contains more number of characters. And length equal to string length of S. It calculates the length of the string. S is the string variable. It calculates the length of the string. It contains the length of the string, and then it is a variable that is initializing variable for using for loop. I equal to 0, I is less than n, less than length I plus plus, I equal to 0, initializing variable I equal to 0, I is less than length. What is the value finally stored on the variable? Length, and then up to the length the characters are one by one, it is incremented automatically I plus plus. So first initially I equal to 0, 0 is compared with length, 0 is less than length. What is the length value? String 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 characters are there. Length contains the value 6. Now equal to 0, 0 is less than 6. Now the condition is true. Then move on to the next statement. P of 0 equal to S of length minus I. Length minus I. What is the value stored here is length equal to 6 minus I. What is the value I? 0. 6 minus 0, 6. S of 6 is the value that is stored on the variable P of I. Now printf percentage SP. Here I didn't specify any array size. Using the index size only we can print the characters. P of 0 contains the character, but I didn't specify any subscript here. So here is an error. Here is an error. If you are using subscript here, then it will be print the first character, last character, P of 6. P of 6, and then move on to one by one characters. So S of 5 will be printed. S of 4, S of 3, S of 2, S of 1, S of 0. If it is contains a subscript. If it contains subscript, then print in reverse order. It doesn't have any subscript. It is an error. So no output is printed on the screen. No output is printed on the screen because of it does not specify any subscript here. If you are using subscript, then only it prints the characters. No output is printed on the screen will be the output for this program. No output is printed is the answer for this question. Option D. Next, move on to the 5th question. Consider the following C function. Void swap of int A comma int B. Swap is the function. Using this function, we are swapping 2 numbers, int A comma B. You remember here we have specified void int temp equal to A equal to B equal to temp. Using the temporary variable, we are swapping these 2 numbers. Here is the function called swap. It contains the functionality that is used for swapping 2 numbers. And then in order to exchange the values of 2 variables x and y, which option is the correct option? Call swap of x comma y. Call swap of x comma y. And call swap of and x comma and y. This is the second option. Third one, swap x comma y cannot be used as it does not return any value. Swap of x comma y, we cannot use the statement because it does not return any value. And swap of x comma y cannot be used as the parameters are passed by the value. Swap of x comma y cannot be used as the parameters are passed by value. So these are the four options. Here is the functionality. Swap is the function. It contains void data type. Void indicates it doesn't return any value to the main program, and it contains two arguments, int a, int b. Using the temporary variable, we are trying to swap these two numbers. The value which is stored on the variable a is assigned to b. The value which is stored on the variable b is assigned to a. These two values are swapped together, and the control will transfer to the main program. This is functionality of this function. In order to exchange the values of two variables x and y, which one is the right option among these four options? Either a, b, c, or d. Call swap of x comma y. Call swap of and x comma and y. Swap of x comma y cannot be used as it does not return any value. Swap of x comma y cannot be used as the parameters are passed by value. Cannot pass by value. Among these four options, option D is the right answer because of it contains void data type. It cannot be used as the parameters are passed by value. Parameters cannot be passed by value using void data type. So int a comma b, it shows an error message. The parameters does not match. The parameters does not match. So the functionality does not work using this statement. Swap of x comma y cannot be used as the parameters are passed by value. That is the right option for the question 5. So option D is the right answer for this question. Now move on to the 6th question. Consider the following C function. Int f of int n. It is f is the function name. It contains one argument, that is n. Static int I equal to 1. Static int I equal to 1. If n is greater than or equal to 5, it checks the condition with the value 5. If the condition is true, then it returns the value of n. If it is false, it moves on to n equal to n plus I, and then I equal to I plus plus, I equal to I plus 1, and return f of n. Again, it calls the f of n. So it is the recursive function that is applicable up to n is greater than or equal to 5. Whenever it reaches this condition, it returns the value n. Otherwise, it move on to next iteration. Whenever the condition is true, it returns the value to the main program. Whenever the condition is false, it recursively calls this function based on the values n equal to n plus I and I equal to I plus 1. I plus plus. It indicates I equal to I plus 1. It's a post increment operator. I equal to I plus 1. So what is the value returned by f of 1 is 5, 6, 7, 8. Which one is the right option among these four options? Either A, B, C, or D. These are the four options. 5, 6, 7, 8. What is the value for the function f? What is the final value when the function f of 1 is f of 1? What is the final value of this program? What is the final value of this program? Which one is the right answer? So f of 1 returned by f of 1. F of 1. F is the function name. N value is 1. F of 1. Now the f of 1, when it is f of 1, f of integer 1. Static integer I equal to 1. If n is greater than or equal to 5. What is the value of n here is 1. 1 is greater than or equal to 5 is condition false. Then move on to n equal to n plus I. N equal to n plus I. 1. 1 plus, what is the value of I is 1. 1 plus 1. 1 plus 1 equal to 2. Now I value is incremented. Now f of 2. F of 2. What is the value stored here is integer value is 1 and n value is 2. 2 is greater than or equal to 5, condition is false. Then immediately n equal to n plus I. The already value stored in the variable n added with the variable I. Now up to the condition n is greater than or equal to when n is greater than or equal to 5 up to 4. The same statements are repeated. Up to the value 4, that is stored on the variable n, up to 4 values, the statements are repeated again and again. It's a recursive function. Remember, we know already about very well about recursive function. What is a recursive function? The function calls the same function again and again to return f of n. F of n is the function. This function is a recursive function. It calls this function again and again. Whenever the condition is true, it stops calling the recursive function, then return the value of n. Now the value of f of 1, the function f of 1 will return the value 7. 7 is the final answer that is written by this program. Because whenever it reaches the condition n is greater than or equal to 5, if n value is equal to 5 or greater than 5, then it stops this recursive function. It moves on to return n. The final value of n will return to the main program. The final value of n is 7. That is written to the main program. That is the concept used here. It is the recursive function. Recursive function is the concept that is used in this program. F is the function. It calls the function again and again. For the iterations up to n is greater than or equal to 5, the condition is whenever the condition is true, then only it stops the iteration. Otherwise, the recursive function will be called again and again. That is the concept used here. The final answer for this program is C, option C, that is 7. Next, move on to 7th question. Here, it is the main program. It contains 4 variables. X, Y, M, and N are the 4 variables. Using scanf function, we are getting 2 values for variables X and Y. The first value is stored on the variable X and the second value is stored on the variable Y. We are getting the input for the variables X and Y. Here are the 2 input values. M equal to X, N equal to Y. M equal to X and N equal to Y. Y. The condition is tested while M not equal to N. If both the values are not equal, then move on to this position. If M is greater than N, if M is greater than N, then M equal to M minus N. Otherwise, N equal to N minus N. These concepts are already discussed. Whenever you are trying to find the greatest common divisor, you already studied about this in mathematics, GCD of a given number. So for that purpose, we are using M equal to M minus N or N equal to N minus N. Using this functionality up to this condition, what is the condition? While M not equal to N, if the condition is true, then move on to these 2 statements, either this statement or this statement, up to when M equal to N. When the condition is goes to false state, then it stops the iteration and finally it prints the value that is stored on the variable N. So finally, the GCD of a given number is find out and then that value will be printed using the statement printf. Printf is the function that is used to print what is the final value we have attained using this functionality. So from this functionality, we can attain the number, final number. The number is GCD of the given number, common divisor, greatest common divisor of the number that is stored on the variable N. So this code is used for finding the greatest common divisor of a X and Y. So which option is the right option? So C is the right option among these 4 options. C is the right option, the greatest common divisor of X and Y. That is the functionality used here for identifying the greatest number, that is greatest common divisor of a X and Y. Is the right option. Our 7th question, option C is the right answer. Then move on to 8th question. Assume the following C variable declaration. So declaration oriented question. This is the declaration oriented question. Int star A of 10, B of 10, 10. It's a 2-dimensional array. It is an 1-dimensional array. It's a pointer variable. It is an 1-dimensional array. It's a 2-dimensional array. So A of 2, A of 2, 3, B of 1, B of 2, 3, which will not give compile time errors if used as left-hand sides of assignment statements in a C program. So options are either 1, 2, and 4 only, 2, 3, and 4 only, 2 and 4 only, 4 only. These are the 4 options. You have among these 4 options, which one is the right answer? So these questions are all frequently asked in gate questions. These questions are already asked in gate questions. See here, it is a declaration part. Int star A of 10, B of 10, 10. It's a two-dimensional array, it's a one-dimensional array. From these following statements, these 1, 2, 3, 4, which will not give compile time error if used as left-hand sides of assignment statements in a C program. Which will not give compile time errors if used as left-hand sides of assignment statements in a C program. Left-hand side. If you are using these statements in a left-hand side statements, which does not give, which will not give compile time error. Which will not give compile time error among these two. The options are 1, 2, and 4 only, 2, 3, and 4 only, 2 and 4 only, 4 only. These are the 4 options we have. Which option is the right option? If you are using these statements in the left-hand side, which one is the right option for this? So here, A of 2 equal to any one value we can initialize. A of 2 equal to, for example, within curly braces 10. The A of 2, index position 2, it contains the value 10. It gives no error. A of 2, 3, the subscript 2, it will automatically replace the value. It is also works. And then B of 1. If it is two-dimensional array, we have to give 2 subscripts. Definitely we have to give 2 subscripts. So here is the statement. We are initializing only the 1 subscript, that is for row. We didn't specify the column. We didn't specify the column because B is a two-dimensional array. It must contain row and column. It must contain row and column. What is the row size is 1, but the column size is not specified here. That is the error in this statement. So 1, 2, 4 are correct answers. It will not give any error during the compile time. 1, 2, and 4 are the right statement. A of 2 we can initialize. A of 2, 3 we can initialize. B of 2, 3 we can initialize. But using this statement we cannot initialize because of the column size is not specified here. B of 1, the another subscript is missing. That is the error. During the compile time, it shows an error message. So what is the question here is, which will not give compile time errors if used as left-hand sides of assignment statements in a C program. If you are using these statements in the left-hand side of an equal to operator, these 3 statements will not give any error message, but B of 1 will give compile time error because of the column size is not specified here. Subscript is missing. Subscript is missing. The second subscript is not specified here. That is the error during the compile time. It shows an error message. So option A is the right answer for this question. For 8th question, option A is the right answer. Let's move on to the 9th question. Consider the following declaration of two-dimensional array in C. Character A of 100, 100. Character A of 100, 100. Assuming that the main memory is byte addressable and that the array is stored starting from memory address 0. The address of A of 40, 50. The row says 40, column says 50 is. What is the address of the 40th row, 50th column? That is the question asked here. It is also asked in gate question. Character A of 100, 100. Assuming that the main memory is byte addressable and that the array is stored starting from memory address 0. The address of A 40, 50. Row size is 40, column size is 50. What is the address of array A with the row 40 with the column 50? That is the question here. Options are, first option A is 40, 40, B is 40, 50, C is 50, 40, and D is 50, 50. Which one is the right answer among these 4 options? See here, the data type of the variable is character. Data type of the variable is character. The character A of 100, 100 is the array 2-dimensional array. What the question is asked here is, assuming that the main memory is byte addressable and that the array is stored starting from memory address 0. The starting address of A of 0, 0 is 0, 0. starts with 0, 0. What is the address of the array A with the row 40 with the column 50? Row is 40, column is 50. What is the address of A of 40, 50? That's the question asked here. Here the options are 40, 40, 40, 50, 50, 40, and 50, 50. You remember, array variable A is an array variable. It contains the character type, data type. Character occupies 1 byte in memory because of it's a basic data type. Character occupies 1 byte in memory. So what is the address of 40, 50? Address of the variable A contains the rows is 40 and column is 50. What is the value? Address of the this location, particular location, A of 40, 50. Address of A, rows is 40, columns is 50. So question is address of A of 40, 50. So you remember, it is a character type variable. It occupies 1 byte by default. So it's starting, they have specified in the question is memory address 0, starting from the memory address 0. What is the memory location of A of 0, 0 is 0, 0. Index question 0, 0. A of 0, 1, it contains 0. 0, 2, it contains 0. 0, 3, it contains 0. So now, the address of A 40, 50 is stored on the location 40, 50. Because it occupies 1 byte in memory. So individual memory location. A of 0, 0 occupies 0. A of 0, 1 occupies 0, 1. A of 0, 2 occupies 0, 2. A of 40, 50 occupies 40, 50. 40, 50 is the location. The memory is occupied in that particular location. So 40, 50 is the right answer for this question. Option B is the right answer. Option B is the right answer for the question 9. Option B is the right answer for this question. Now move on to the 10th question. Consider the following C program. Void FOO. FOO is the function. It contains two parameters. One is n, another one is sum. These are all the two parameters that is defined in the function FOO. Within this function, k equal to 0, j equal to 0. These are the two variables with initializing value 0. If n equal to 0, return. If n value is 0, then it return. Otherwise, k equal to n modulo division by 10, j equal to n divided by 10, sum equal to sum plus k, FOO of j comma sum. What is the value finally stored on the variable j? And sum is again called this function. Again, it moves on to recursive function. The final value of j and sum is the parameter for this function. With this value, the function is again called. FOO is the function. This function is again called. And then, up to whenever it reaches this condition, if n equal to 0, then only it stops the iteration. Whenever it moves to n equal to 0, it stops the iteration and return to the main program. In main program, print up some value. What is the value stored on the variable sum? Finally, the sum value contains some value. That value will be stored on this variable. That is the value stored on the variable sum. Now, it is the main program. Int a equal to 2048 is the value we have initialized. A equal to 2048. Sum equal to 0. Initially, the variable sum contains no value. So, for that purpose, we are initializing the variable sum equal to 0. FOO is the function. It calls the function with parameters a and sum. A and sum are two parameters. It calls this function with two parameters. Foo is the function. FOO is the function. It calls this function with two parameters a and sum. The value stored on the variable a is 2048. The value on the variable sum equal to 0. 2048 comma sum is the parameter. With this parameter, it calls the function that is defined here. FOO int n comma int sum. What is the value of variable n is 2048. What is the value of sum is 0. So with the parameters, it calls this function. Now k equal to 0, j equal to 0. If n equal to 0. What is the value stored here is 2048. The condition is false. Move on to this statement. K equal to n modulo division by 10. What is the value of variable? Now is 2048 modulo division by 10. It gives 8. It gives only the remainder. It gives 8. 8 will be the answer for K. J equal to n divided by 10. What is the value stored here is 204. Quotient value. It gives the quotient value. Quotient value is stored on the variable J. Remainder value is stored on the variable K. So K contains the value 8 and J contains the value 204. Now sum equal to sum plus K. What is the value already stored in the variable sum is 0. 0 plus K. What is the value of K is 8. 0 plus K. 8 is the value that is stored on the variable sum. 8 is the value that is stored on the variable sum. Now again it calls the function FOO. What is the value stored on the variable J and what is the value finally stored on the variable sum? These two are the new parameter for this function. What is the value stored on the variable J is 204. 204 and sum equal to 8. These two are the parameters. It calls the function again. Now n value is 204, sum value is 8. Now it checks the condition n equal to 0. The condition is false. Then K equal to n modulo division by 10. What is the value n? 204. 204 modulo division by 10. It gives 4. It gives 4. And then J equal to n divided by 10. It gives 20. It gives 20. Now sum equal to sum plus K. What is the value stored on the variable K is 4. So already sum contains the value 8. 8 plus 4. 12 is the new sum after compiling the statement. Now FO of J comma sum. What is the value of J is 20. And sum contains the value 12. Now if n equal to 0, condition is false, then K equal to n modulo division by 10. N value is 20. 20 modulo division by 10, 0. 0 is the value of K and J equal to n divided by 10. It contains 2. So K equal to sum plus K. Sum already contains the value 12. Now K value is 0. 12 plus 0, 12. Sum value is 12. And with the new value of J and sum. What is the value of J? 2. 2 comma sum. Sum value is 12. It moves on to the next statement. Again, it calls this same function with the value of n equal to 2, sum equal to 12. Now n equal to 2, it does not match the condition. Then K equal to n modulo division by 10. It gives 2 and J equal to 0. N divided by 10, it gives 0. Now, what is the value here is sum equal to sum plus K. What is the value of K is 2. Already it contains 12. 12 plus 2, 14. 14 is the value stored here. And FO of J comma sum. J contains the value 0. Sum contains the value 14. Now n equal to 0. Now the condition is true. It returns the final answer of sum. It returns the final answer of sum. So what is the output of this program? Finally, what is the output of this program among these 4 options? Either A, B, C or D. I explained how the function is working. Now, what is the final answer of this program? Either option A, B, C or D. What is the answer for the question 10? So final answer for this program is option D, 20480. 20480. Because of every time it prints the value of K. Every time it prints the value K within this function. So it is a recursive function. It calls the function again and again. Option D is the correct answer for this question. It recursively calls this function. So every time the value of K is printed, what is the value that is stored on the variable K will be printed. So 2048 will be the answer. You know the concept of local variable and global variable. Here specified here the return type of this function is void. This function does not return any value to the main program. So the sum value here is 14, but some value within this function is 0. So that's why it prints 0. within this function the sum value is 14, but it prints 0 because of the local scope and global scope. You know very well about global variable and local variable. Local variable, the scope of within this function only the scope of the variable is maintained. Within this function, sum value is 0. We have already inside sum equal to 0. What is the final statement? Printf percentage the sum. What is the value of sum here is 0. Within this function, sum value is 0. Apart there is this function. Within this function, the sum value is, what is the final sum we have obtained is 14. But the value does not return to the main program because of this function contains the return data type as void. The return data type of this function is void, so it does not return any value to the main program. That's why only sum value is 0. If it returns value, the sum value is overwritten to the function, then only it will print 14. So that is a major difference here. Global scope and local scope. It contains a local scope. That's why only the output is 20480. 20480. 20480. That is the final answer. And the sum value contains 0. But that is the final sum. Sum equal to 0. So this is the right answer for this question. Option B is the right answer. For the question 11, move on to the question 11. Choose the correct option to fill question number 1 and question number 2, so that the program below prints an output input string in reverse order. Assume that the input string is terminated by a new line character. Terminated by a new line character. You know very well about the new line character because the \n is the new line character. You know very well about that. \n is the new line character. This is the question. Choose the correct option to fill question number 1. The question number 1 is here. Question number 2 and question number 2, so that the program below prints an input string in reverse order. The input string should be printed in the reverse order. Assume that the input string is terminated by a new line character. You assume that the input string that is terminated by a new line character, that is \n. \n is the new line character. Using that character, the input string is terminated. This is the program function void reverse of void. It is to see if the question number 1 reverse of question number 2. It's the question number 1 and question number 2. Which statements among these 4 to be filled here? In main program, enter text, print of \n, reverse, print of \n. Which statement is the right statement that is used to perform the given task? Either the option A, B, C, or D. The option A contains, the question number 1 is get care of not equal to \n, and 2 is get care of C. Either these 2 options. Next option is, question number 1 is C equal to get care of not equal to N, and 2 is get care of C. This is the second option. Third option is, question number 1 is C not equal to \n is put care of C. This is the third option. And fourth option is, question number 1 is C equal to get care of not equal to \n and is put care of C. Which option is the right option among these 4 options? Question number 11. Which option is the right option? You remember the input string is terminated by a new line character. That should be in your mind. Before choosing these options, you must remember this key point. Assume that the input string is terminated by a new line character. New line character, it is the key concept, key for the answer. Assume that the input string is terminated by a new line character. This is the key for the answer. So question number 1 and 2 to be filled with 2 statements. Which 2 statements are correct among these 4 options? Maybe either A, B, C, or D. Among these 4 options, which one is the right option for this question? 11. The question number 1 is get care of not equal to backslash n. Get care of not equal to n. It moves on to reverse condition. Is first question. If get care of not equal to n, get character input character not equal to n, it moves on to reverse, and then get care of c, it get the another character. Using this statement, c equal to get char, it gets the input character that is compared with backslash n. If it is not equal to backslash n, then get care of c, again it gets the another character, it gets the another character in statement 2. In statement 3, c not equal to backslash n, c not equal to backslash n. Definitely it should not be true because of c is an integer type. We already specified here as input is string. So option C is wrong one. Then move on to option D. Question number 1 is c equal to get care of not equal to n. If c equal to get care of, we can get the input from the keyboard. If the keyboard character is not equal to backslash n, is not equal to backslash n, then it put character of c. Then it prints the character c. Among these 4 options, which one is the right option? Either A, B, C, or D. D is the right option for this question. If c equal to get care of not equal to backslash n, then it move on to put character of c. It is in reverse order. It reverse the function. Reverse is the function that is used to reverse the string. Then it reverse the string put character of c. It prints the characters in reverse order. So option D is the right answer for question 11. Question number 12. Consider the following C program. As defined print x, print of percentage dx. There is a macro definition. So the question is based on macro definition. Int x. This question is also asked in GATE examination. This question is mainly based on macro definition. As defined print of x, print of percentage dx. This is the macro definition. Now the program is integer x, void q of integer z, z plus equal to x, print of z, void p of integer y, and integer x equal to star y plus 2, q of x, star y equal to x minus y, print of x. Print of x. Print of x we have already defined. Print of x. Print is the function with parameter. Print of x is the printf percentage dx. What is the value of value stored on the variable x is printed using the statement. Printf is it, that will be parameter will be passed to this function. Now what is the value stored on this variable that is printed on this statement? Printf percentage d, this value, and then for this function printf percentage d, this value. And then within the main program, x equal to 5, p equal to p of and x. P of and x. What is the after starting address of the variable? X. P of and x. Print x. Print is the function that is we have already defined. Get char. What is the output of this program? It is the program code. It is based on pointers and also macro definition. Pointers and macro definition. What is the output of this program?
Definition. What is the definition?
P of and x. Where is the function p? Function p is here. P of and x. What is the value stored on the variable x? The starting address of the variable x is a parameter that is passed to the variable y. Using star operator, it accesses the value of this operator, value of this variable. So what is the value stored on the variable x? That is accessed by the variable y because of using star operator. So star y, it contains 5. Value 5 will be the parameter for this variable y. Now x equal to star y. What is the value of star y? X. X value is stored here. So 5 plus 2, that is equal to 7. That is equal to 7. So q of x. Now q of x is called. Q of x is called. What is the value stored on the variable x is 7. 7 plus equal to x. Plus equal to x. What is the value of x? Z equal to Z plus x is the expansion of this statement. What is the value of x? That is the value that is given through this statement, and x, the value of x. We already access the address of this variable. So based on this address, it accesses the value x. What is the value stored here? Using that statement, we print the value. And then move on to print z. What is the value stored on the value z is printed here using this statement. Using this statement, the value z will be printed. So what is the output of this program is option
And 1 Kelvin is equal to minus 270. 1 Kelvin is 66.
either A, B, C or D. Which is the right answer. Here we are using
And
print statement 1, 2 and 3. 3 print statements are there. Using 3 print statement, the macro will automatically be substituted based on the argument. Either it can be Z or X or X. Based on the parameter, the value are printed. First it contains 12, and second it contains 7, and third contains 6. What is the option? What is the output for this program is option A. A is the right answer for this question. 12, 7, 6 are the answer for this question. From this point 12, from this point 7, from this point 6. That is the final answer stored in the individual function. Here, how many concepts are used here is we are using pointers and also macro substitution. Pointers and macro substitutions are used here. So option A is the right answer for this question. Next, move on to the 13th question. Consider the following C function in which A of n and B of m are two short integer arrays, and C of n plus mb another integer array. C of n plus mb another integer array. Void x, y, z, integer a, integer b, integer c. These are all the one-dimensional array variables. Integer I, j, k. These are all the ordinary variables. I, j, k are initial value 0. Initial value 0. While I is less than n and j is less than m. I is less than n, j is less than m. If the condition is true, then move on to if a of I is less than b of j, c of k plus plus equal to a of a plus plus. Else, this statement. Which of the following conditions hold or holds after the termination of the while loop? Among these two statements, which one is the right, or which one is the right, or both are right, or both are false? Which one is the right option? Only one, only two, either one or two, but not both, neither one nor two. This or that, or this or that, but not both. But this is different from this. Neither one or two. Maybe one or two. Here, either one or two, but not both. Both statements are not true, but either one or two. But in this case, neither one or two. Either one be true or two be true. Only one, only two. Which option is the right option? J is less than m, k equal to n plus j minus 1, and a of n minus 1 is less than b of j if I equal to n. It is the first option. Second one, I is less than n, k equal to n plus I minus 1, and b of m minus 1 is less than or equal to a of I if j equal to m. It substitutes. Which of the following conditions or condition holds or hold after the termination of the while loop? After the termination of the while loop, which of the following conditions or condition holds or hold after the termination of the while loop? After the termination of the while loop, which condition will be there? Only one, only two, either one or two, not both, neither one nor two. Which is the right option among these four options? to substitute the statements, option C is the right answer for this question. Either 1 or 2, but not both. Either 1 or 2. You may use any one of the statements, but you cannot use both the statements. Either one of the statements can be used after while statement. You may use either 1 or 2, but you should not use both the statements. That is the option for this answer. And in this question, option C is the right answer for this question. That's question number 13. 14. It is based on the pointer variables. Consider this C code to swap two integers, and these 5 statements, the code swap of integer star px, comma star py. Star px equal to star px means star py. Star px equal to star px plus py, and star px equal to star py minus star px. These 3 lines are used for swapping 2 numbers. These 3 statements are used for swapping 2 numbers without using the temporary variable. Without using temporary variable, you may go for addition and subtraction operator or bitwise operator. We may go for bitwise operator. So either you may go for addition and subtraction operator, or you may go for bitwise operator. So these 2 are the remedy. Without using temporary variable, we can swap 2 variables. The values of the 2 variables that can be swapped without using temporary variable. Either you may go for addition and subtraction operator, or you may go for bitwise operator. Using these 2 ways, we can swap 2 numbers without using temporary variable. So here is the code that is used to swap 2 numbers. So it will generate a compilation error. It will generate a compilation error. May generate a segmentation fault at runtime depending on the arguments passed. Whenever you are passing the argument, it will generate a segmentation fault. And option 3, correctly implements the swap procedure for all input pointers referring to integers stored in memory locations accessible to the process. It does not produce any error. It works fine. That is the 3rd option. And 4th option is implements the swap procedure correctly for some, but not all valid input pointers. But not valid input pointers. This is the 4th statement. And the 5th statement is may add or subtract integers and pointers. May add, subtract integers and pointers. These are the 5 statements. Among these 5 statements, which are the correct statements? Either S1, S2 and S3, S2 and S4, S2 and S5. Which is the right answer among these 4 options? Either A, B, C, or D. Which option is the right option among these 4 options? So S1 is will generate a compilation error. It does not produce any compilation error because it works fine. Because based on the pointer variable, it accesses the value of the variable. So star px, star py, it accesses the value of the variable px and py. And the same value is processed here. Px and py are the parameters that are processed using the star operator. So it does not provide any compilation error. So first statement is entirely wrong. Second one, may generate a segmentation fault at runtime depending on the arguments passed. Depending on the arguments passed. There is a second statement. Depending on the arguments passed, it generates segmentation fault. It does not produce any segmentation fault. It does not produce any segmentation fault. But the runtime, depending on the arguments passed. If you are passing, instead of 2 variables, you are passing 1 variable, that will produce error. You should pass 2 arguments. It will generate a segmentation fault at runtime depending on the arguments passed. How many arguments are there is 2 arguments. Instead of using 2 arguments, you may pass 1 argument, 3 arguments, 4 arguments, any number of arguments that produce segmentation fault. If the arguments does not match, then it will produce fault, segmentation fault. Second option. Third one, correctly implements the swap procedure for all input pointers referring to integers stored in memory locations accessible to the process. So you may give any number of value here. Based on the input value, it works fine. That is the 3rd option. So 4th option is implements the swap procedure correctly for some, but all valid input pointers. For all input valid pointers, it works fine. Last one, may add or subtract integer and pointers. Integer and pointers. So option 2 and 4 are the right answer statements. 2 and 4 are the right statements. Based on the argument, it will produce segmentation fault and then implements the swap procedure corrected to sum, but all valid input pointers. If all input pointers are valid, then probability works fine. So statements 2 and 4 are the correct. And option C is the right answer for this question. So move on to the 15th question. What is the following program? Print. Here is the program. It is a function called f is the function name with the arguments p and q. Star p and q are the arguments that are passed as parameter. P equal to q, star p equal to 2. It is I equal to 0, j equal to 1. These two are the initialization variables. It is within the main program. F of and I, comma and j. F of and I, comma and j. Printf I and j. Printf I and j. What is the value stored on the variable I and j that is printed using this statement? And get that return 0. This is the main program. And then the function f of I comma j. F of I comma j. Instead of I it is p. Instead of j it is q. So p equal to q and star p equal to 2. What is the final output of this program? Either A, B, C, or D. 2, 2, 2, 1, 0, 1, 0, 2. Which one is the right answer for this question? Either A, B, C, or D. So these are the 4 options. 2, 2, 2, 1, 0, 1, 0, 2. P equal to Q, star P equal to 2, I equal to 0, J equal to 1. The f of and I and j. Here is the function call. The parameters I and j. We are passing these 2 parameters. I and j are the 2 parameters we are passing here. Instead of using the value, here we are passing address of the variable. So P and Q are accessing the value of the variable. What is the final output of this program? What is the final output of this program? A, B, C, or D? What is the final output of this program? It can be 2, 2, 2, 1, 0, 1, 0, 2. So here, P equal to Q, star P equal to 2. Star P equal to 2. P contains the value 2. Q contains the value, no value is initialized 0. No value is initialized. So 0 and 2 are the answer for this program. 0 and 2. 0 and 2 are the answer for this program. So 0 and 2 is option D. Option D is the right answer for this question. Question number 15. Option D. 0, 2 is the answer. Because of Q doesn't have any value. P contains the value 0, 0, and star P equal to 2, I equal to 0, J equal to 1. Now the value of I and J are 0 and 2. Because of we are passing the parameters address of the variable. Using this address, we can access the value. We are changing the value of P and Q. The final value of P and Q is stored on the variable I and J. So I contains the value 0, J contains the value 2. Option D is the right answer for this question. So then we want to question number 16. What is the value printed by the following program? What is the final value? It's the function, and f is the function. Int star a int n. These are 2 parameters. If n is less than or equal to 0, if n value is a negative value or equal to 0, it returns 0. If the n value is negative value or equal to 0, then it returns 0. Otherwise, else the value that is stored on the variable a is modulo division by 2 equal to 0. The next condition is the value that is stored on the variable a is modulo divided by 2. If the remainder gives 0, then it returns a. What is the value stored on the variable a plus f of a plus 1 comma n minus 1. A value is incremented and n value is decremented. Move on to the same function. Again, the question is asked using recursive function. This question is also asked in the date question. The recursive function, it is a recursive function f of a plus 1 comma n minus 1. The function is called with the value of incremented value of a and decremented value of n. It's a recursive function. It calls the same function again. What is the value of n? N equal to n minus 1. So it is less than or equal to 0. It returns 0. Otherwise, move on to this condition. Recursively, it calls the function whenever it reaches this condition. If n value is equal to 0 or less than 0. Whenever it reaches this condition, it returns 0. Otherwise, it move on to these statements. Finally, it returns the statement final value. What is the final value of this program? The A contains the value 12, 7, 13, 4, 11, 6. F of A, comma 6. A contains the value. These are all the value. And 6, A of 6. Get there of printf. What is the final value of this statement? Printf percentage D F of A, comma 6. Here is the parameter ratio of variable A. A6 is the parameter ratio of the variable N. What is the final answer of this question? Either it is minus 9, 5, 15 or 19. If one value is less than or equal to 0, it returns 0. If this condition is true, it returns this value. If this condition is close to false, then it returns star A minus F of A plus 1, comma N minus 1. A plus 1 and N minus 1 are the parameters. It recursively calls this function. These two statements are recursive function statements. If n value is less than or equal to 0, it returns 0. So, based on the value of A, that is stored on the variable A equal to 12, 7, 13, 4, 11, 6. And we call this function using the parameters f of A, comma 6. A, comma 6. A, comma 6. What is the value stored on this variable? Option, which is the option correct option. Which option is the correct option? 12, 7, 13, 4, 6. F of A, comma 6. A and 6. 6 is less than or equal to 0. Condition false. Then move on to the statement. 6. Modulo division by 2 that gives 0. Condition is true. Then return star A plus F of A plus 1, comma A plus 1. If the function is called again, what is the value of stored in the variable A? It is incremented. And then the value of n is decremented. N minus 1, 5. It is 5. It is the value of n that is stored on the variable A plus 1. What is the value of A is first 12 and then 7. Move to 7. Based on the value given input, it will be executed these three statements consecutively. If the condition is true, then returns 0. If the condition is false, then it checks the another condition. If this condition also goes to false, then it moves on to this statement. If this statement goes to false, then immediately terminates from this program. It's a recursive function. Whenever the condition is true, based on the condition, the functions are recursively called. The question is based on recursive function. The question is also asking that example. So for this program, option C is the right answer for this program. 15 is the answer. That is recursively called the function with the value f of A, comma 6. A, comma 6, it recursively calls the function 4 plus 11 is equal to 15. 15 is the right answer for this program. Option C is the right answer. And move on to the 17th question. Now, character C equal to A2011. 2011. Character star P equal to C. Character star P equal to C. Percentage is P plus P of 3 minus P of 1. P of 3 minus P of 1. What is the answer for this problem? Percentage is P plus P of 3 minus P of 1. P of 3 minus P of 1. So P of 3 contains some character, P of 1 contains some character. For your reference, please note here, A is CA value of A to Z. A contains a value 65, B contains a value 66, C contains a value 67, and D contains 68, E contains 69. After that, Z contains 90. This is the ASCII value for the variables A to Z. A contains 65 and Z contains 90. This is the ASCII value. By consecutively, it allocates the value for the alphabetic letters A to Z. What is the final answer for this program? It contains we input get 2011 star p equal to c. It allocates the value that's stored on the c is allocated to the variable p. Now percentage is p plus p of 3 minus p of 1. What is the value of p of 3 minus p of 1 is p of 3. What is the value of p of 3? P contains the value of c. So c of 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. E is the value that is stored on the variable p of 3 minus p of 1, 0, 1. A is the value that is stored on the variable p of 1. E minus A. What is the value of E is 69 minus 65, that is 4. That is 4. So P plus 4. What is the final answer stored here? P plus 4. What is the final answer stored here? P plus 4. P of 3 minus P of 1 contains 4 because of the difference between E and A is 4. What is the answer for this program? So then as a P plus P of 3 minus P of 1. P of 3 minus P of 1. P of 3 minus P of 1 is 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. P plus 4. So character will be stored on the variable P plus 4. P starting address is 0. 0 plus 4, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 is the starting address from the start statement. So 2, 0, 1, 1 will be the output for this statement. P, it contains the starting address of this variable C. Starting address of this 0. Index position 0 is the starting address of the variable P plus 4. P plus 4, 0 plus 4, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 is the starting index position. Then it starts print from 2. 2011 will be the output of this program. So 2011 will be the output of this program. Option C is the right answer. Next, move on to 18th question. Consider the following recursive C function that takes 2 arguments. Unsigned integer, it's a function. Unsigned integer n, unsigned integer r. If n is greater than 0, return n modulo division by r plus, it's a recursive function and returns 0. What is the return value of the function FOO when it is called as FOO 513, 2? The value 513, 2. What is the final answer of this function? When we call the function FOO with the parameters 5113, 513 and 2. 513 is substituted for the variable n and 2 is substituted for the variable r. What is the answer for this program? Either 9, 8, 5 or 2. Which one is the right answer for this question? 513, the value of 2 is not. If n is greater than 0, 513 is greater than 0, then n 513 modulo division by r. What is the value of r? 2. It gives, what is the value? 513 divided by 2. It gives the remainder plus FO of n divided by r, r. So again, it calls this function whenever it reaches the false condition. N is equal to 0 or less than 0, then it returns 0. Otherwise, it returns the statements that is a recursive function. Using the recursive function, what is the final answer of this program? Either it can be 9, 8, 5 or 2. Using recursive function, the final answer of this program is 8 because of recursively calls. Whenever it reaches this condition, it returns 0. Otherwise, it returns the value of the variables. The value is added with this value. So recursively, it adds the numbers. 8 is the answer for this program. B is the right answer for this question. So these are all the questions that are all asked, that are all already asked in GATE examination. These three questions, these questions are very well useful to you for your preparation for GATE examination. So all the best, students. Thank you for your cooperation.